Please remain standing for the invocation to be offered tonight by Father Kevin Kirsten of the Society of Jesus, the chaplain of the law school. Gentlemen, please remove your academic hats.
Let's pause for a moment and put ourselves in the presence of God. Oh God, we are so grateful. On behalf of our law school graduates, we are grateful first of all to our mothers, our fathers, our families, close circles of friends, who have given us their loving support to enable us to come to Creighton and to make the most of our studies here. Thank you also for our faculty, our administration and staff, whose lives with us have been so dedicated to give us their very best to help us learn the law and the sacred values that underpin it. And thank you, God, for sending these young men and women to Creighton and for nurturing them here so that they are fit to serve justice and mercy, to serve those who so need justice and mercy, especially the poor and the marginalized. God, we ask you to give our graduates the grace to work as servants of the law, seeking to work more effectively for justice and freedom for all. Help them to live out their vocations as lawyers and someday in other various branches of the law, whether as judges or public servants, with humility, kindness, and civility. As they live out their lives, help them to realize more deeply their call to be faithful to their more fundamental vocation as God's own sons and daughters, and to give flesh to God's love in our world. Give them the grace to respond to this call in the midst of our increasingly complicated lives. We know that the demands of the law in our legal culture can sometimes separate us from our truest selves. No matter where our fine graduates find themselves, no matter what their lives as servants of the law are like, no matter what sort of public role they hold in their communities, help them to become first and above all servants of God, who calls them to do justice. As these students all strive to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with God, we pray that their lives might reflect the truths expressed in these words by the Jesuit poet Gerard Manley Hopkins. I say more. The just man justices, keeps grace. That keeps all his goings graces. Acts in God's eye what in God's eye he is, Christ. For Christ plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs and lovely in eyes, not his, to the Father through the features of our faces.
Thank you, Father. I'm Marianne Culhane. I'm the Dean of the Creighton University School of Law. Oh, You may be seated. Finally. On behalf of the faculty of the School of Law, I'm pleased to welcome you to the hooding ceremony for the Creighton University School of Law graduating class of 2013. I want to begin tonight by recognizing some of our participants, the most important visitors here tonight, the people who made tonight possible. That's the parents and grandparents, the husbands and wives and children, extended family, and the friends of those seated in front of me tonight are to be saluted for their contributions, both financial and emotional, to the education of our graduates. Graduates, please join me and the faculty by acknowledging and thanking the families and friends of the class of 2013. Now I want to introduce to you the people who are seated with me on the stage. It's my pleasure to introduce a group of caring and extremely able educators, men and women who take seriously their teaching and their charge to educate the lawyers of tomorrow. Would the faculty and administration of the Creighton University School of Law please stand and be recognized. I'm assisted by 6 outstanding administrators. Please join me in acknowledging the 3 associate deans with us tonight, Eric Pearson, Craig Dallin, and Michael Kelly, and 2 of the 3 assistant deans, Andrea Bashara and Julie Olson. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting these outstanding individuals. I would also like to ask the members of our adjunct faculty and other administrative staff in the audience to please stand and be recognized. A little dark out there. And I want to give special recognition to Hattie Rupert and our other staff members who organized tonight's hooding ceremony. Thank you from all of us. And now I'd like to introduce to you our special guest who's on stage with us this evening, Chief Justice Michael Heavican of the Nebraska Supreme Court. Chief Justice Heavican was appointed to the Nebraska Supreme Court in 2006. For the years 2001 to 2006, he was the United States Attorney for the District of Nebraska. Before that, he served as Lancaster County Attorney, Chief Deputy Lancaster County Attorney, and a Deputy County Attorney. Chief Justice Heavican received his BA and JD degrees from the University of Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Chief Justice Heavican.
Thank you, Dean Culhane. I'm pleased to be here tonight on behalf of the Nebraska Supreme Court to welcome you, the Creighton graduates of this year's 2013, to the legal profession. It is a noble and honorable profession, and today the court, the law school, your family and friends, and Nebraska's legal community recognize your 3 long years of preparation. Nebraska's legal community looks forward to being enriched and improved by your skills and enthusiasm. And although not all of you will practice law here in Nebraska, many of you will have significant contact with our state's courts and lawyers. And I'm sure you will find that contact to be positive. Nebraska's lawyers will mentor and support you in your early years of practicing law, and you in turn will support and mentor the generations of lawyers who follow you practicing in Nebraska and other parts of our great country. And for those of you who are not yet certain where your first postgraduate employment is going to be, let me suggest that there are many opportunities to utilize your law degree here in Nebraska. Those opportunities exist in our rural communities as well as our larger cities. Not only will you find job opportunities in Nebraska, but you will also find opportunities to serve our communities and our state in many other ways. Lawyers provide leadership roles on city councils and county boards, in our legislature, and as governors, senators, and representatives. Lawyers coach soccer teams, lead church choirs, and create business opportunities. You have already invested heavily in Nebraska. Leverage that investment by staying in Nebraska and becoming a Nebraska lawyer. No matter where you use your legal education, however, I want to congratulate you and wish you the best in your future endeavors. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Justice Evikin. It has been my great honor to serve as the 10th Dean of the law school for the last 3 years, while the class of 2013 worked their way from 1L to newly minted JDs. I've also had the good luck and great pleasure to have worked here for many years as part of this fine faculty, meeting so many wonderful students. I've been here long enough that now I see some former students sitting out there for the second time, not now as new graduates, but as proud parents of a 2013 grad. All of us at the law school are proud of the class of 2013. They're bright, of course, but also thoughtful and creative problem solvers. In their 3 short years here, they have time management. Several students smiled confidently and raised their hands right away. The teacher called on one who said, "It shows, Professor, no matter how busy you are, you can always fit more work in if you really try. It's like that old saying, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person." "No," said the teacher, "that's not quite what I had hoped to show." Anyone else? No one else raised a hand. "What I wanted to tell you," she said, "is that you have to put the big rocks in first. If you don't put the big rocks in first, other smaller stuff will take up all the space. You have to decide what's really important to you in the long run. Your family, your faith, your integrity, your career, your hobbies, music, volunteer work, regular exercise, writing. You have to decide what the big rocks of your life will be and find a way to put them first into your jar of life. All the hours, days, weeks, and years allotted to you. That's not easy, especially when you start a new job and have multiple bosses assigning tasks. You won't always get your big rocks in the order you want, but you have to keep trying. Reassess every year or so to get the mix closer. Well, that's the next to last of my AKA Mom messages to the class of 2013. You'll get one more right before the bar exam. Best of luck. Keep in touch. Your friends on the faculty will be watching you with hope, affection, and pride. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce you to the senior class speaker, the member of the class of 2013, whom the third-year students have elected to address us tonight. Please join me in welcoming the 2013 senior class speaker, Douglas J. Amon.
You can keep applauding if you want. Thank you, Dean Culhane, distinguished professors, class of 2013, their family and friends, members of the jury. It is an amazing honor to be chosen as class speaker by my fellow classmates and it's not too bad who went through speech therapy for most of his elementary school career. I had a speech impediment where I couldn't pronounce my R's properly. I pronounced them as W's. It got so bad that my two older brothers, Brian and Pat's here today, I'm still gonna get you back for this. They used to call me Elmer Fudd, but it's okay because I got better. I'm no longer chasing wabbits. I'm here as your class speaker, and it is an amazing honor. Our first year professor told me that each class has its own quality to it, its own character. In trying to determine what to say here today, I thought about what our class's character was. I believe our class's character demonstrates itself a little bit every time Professor Malilly or Professor Mangrum sends one of our trial teams out to compete, as was shown by John Matson, Grant Mullen, Sarah and Sean Shera in Missouri. It was shown a little bit when Alyssa Jelinski won Best Direct Examination for the entire trial competition in East Lansing, Michigan. Our class's characters demonstrated a little bit when Nate Rockman and Nick O'Leary won the regional negotiations competition last year. I believe our class's characters demonstrated every time a member of our law review gets up on a Saturday morning to spade someone else's article. And for those of you that do not know what spading is, consider yourself the lucky one. Our class's characters shows itself every time a busy law student gives up an extra hour or two after school to give a little time to a student organization they support, whether it's the GLSA, the LLSA, or the BLSA, or any one of the LSAs, the law school Republicans, or let's be honest, we really don't have any law school Democrats, right, Laurel? Our class's character shows itself in little moments too, little moments of courage, like the courage it took Tom Gross to walk into a barber and get his hair cut after years and years of long hair. Nobody knew what he would look like, but Tom, I'm here to say, you look great, buddy. Our class's character is shown when Mike Anderson stays out after dark, even though it's a little scary, so good job, Mike. I'm proud of our class, and I'm proud of these and so many other achievements. But when I think about our class's true character, I don't think about law reviews, I don't think about academics, competitions, or haircuts. I think about a more human quality to our class. It is this quality that showed itself last December when Wes Vanner donated a kidney to his father in need. And the story gets better. Weeks later, he went in front of the Nebraska Supreme Court, argued his case, and he won. It is this quality that showed itself to me last July, when moments after the news of my mother's passing, my house was filled with my classmates. Many people in this room, most of whom had never met my mother, came over to my house. Some brought baked ziti, others brought drinks, but most just wanted to make sure that I was okay. That is a quality that I can never fully express my gratitude for. Our class's character and quality shows itself in the good times as well. Over the last 3 years, the Engels, the Sullivans, the Shares, the Guys, the Boyces, the Farleys, the McNallys, the Kinney Walkers, the Mosses, and the Matsons, and the Graffs, have all welcomed beautiful children into this world. These members of our class, along with their spouses, I must recognize, wake up in the wee morning hours, take care of a fussy baby, then they come to school, they do the reading, they do not complain. I do not know how you guys do it, and I am proud to have been in the class with you. However, I believe that looking around the room today, we can recognize that none of the last 3 years would have been possible without the hard work and dedication of our deans and professors, most of whom are looking at me right now wondering, who is this kid and when will he shut up? We must thank the administration that is here, who have made our lives easier from everything from admission to today. We must thank Colleen, Pat Anderson, Julie, Andrea, Dawn, Sandy, Pam Flint, Karen Dixon, Tammy King, especially today, Miss Hattie Rupert, without whom today would not have been possible for us and our families. We must thank the Sodexo staff who made sure that the sidebar was filled with the greatest coffee anyone could ever hope for and the tastiest food, and they stayed open almost 6 hours every day. We must thank the IT staff, especially, oh boy, now I'm forgetting their names, Jeff Esky and Ed Austin, without whom Dominique Derry would have never realized that her computer wasn't crashing during the con law final, it just wasn't plugged in. We must thank the janitorial staff and the custodial staff for literally keeping the roof over our heads. But as much hard work and dedication as all these people have put into the last 3 years, it pales in comparison to the hard work and dedication of the most important people in the room today, our families. Our families have now seen us graduate high school, they've seen us leave college, and when we finally got into law school, they were so proud of us, weren't they? They were so proud of us. But members of the class of 2013, we have subjected our poor families to conversations about PMSI and the Erie Doctrine. They've heard us wax poetic about contingent remainders and strict scrutiny, and all the while long, they've been our cheerleaders. They believed in us when we couldn't believe in ourselves. They saw us here today before we could even imagine it. So at this time, class of 2013, please join me in a round of applause for our families. And so to pay it all back, we must go out and compete every day. We knew that coming into law school, the time and expense would be great. We knew that the legal profession was in trouble and the job market would be tougher than it had been in the past. We knew this before we took the LSAT, and yet we took it. We knew this before we applied to law school, and yet we applied. We knew it before we accepted to come to Creighton, and yet we accepted that challenge. So as we enter our next challenge, we must remind ourselves that as our day-to-day changes from law school to the practice of law, the challenges will continue to grow and become more complex. I am confident, though, that this class will overcome each and every challenge, not only with your intelligence, but with your compassion, because I've seen it for the last 3 years. As I come to a close, and these will be my final words, I think back to the very beginning in my first words I ever said in class. It was contracts with Professor Anderson, and he was trying to get us as future attorneys to use language precisely. And instead of trying to sell us a watch finally, he posed a different question. He said, who here in this room can give me a perfect definition of a cat that will work anywhere in the world? And you know, Professor Anderson liked to pace around 124, so he's doing one of these, going back and forth. And at this time, his back was turned towards me, and I'm going through, feline, gatto, trying to find a good word to describe a cat. And I very confidently raised my hand because I thought I had the answer. And just then, the little guy in the back of my mind said, put your hand down. And just as I'm about to lower my hand, Professor Anderson whips around and he goes, you. And I think we all remember what it was like to get called on that first time. Your heart's pounding out of your chest. Your mind goes blank. And Professor Anderson stares into my soul and he says, you, give me a perfect definition of a cat that will work anywhere in the world. And I look back at Professor Anderson and I go, meow. So, I got you. So that was my first words. I hope my last words are a little more profound. After today, go out with all the lessons you have learned in law school, both academically and personally. Go out and remember, while we have so many good times to look forward to, there will be bad times. They will try to put you down and they will try to keep you down. Just don't let them. Go out and compete. Go out and compete with your heart and your mind. Go out and be the class of 2013 I have come to know over the last 3 years. Go out and be yourselves. And in that way, you cannot fail. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my tremendous honor to introduce you to the Creighton University School of Law class of 2013.
Doug, that was wonderful. Thank you. It's the tradition at the law school each year that the third-year students elect a representative of the faculty and present the Outstanding Faculty Member Award. Andrew Cook, President of the SBA, would you please come to the podium to present this award?
Due to time constraints, my interpretive dance routine has been cut from the program. But catch me later and I'll do a performance for you. It's my honor to be up here on behalf of the 2013 class to pay tribute to the men and women behind us who, without them, none of this would have been possible. So please join me in a round of applause for the professor. Now let's get the celebrating started. This year's Outstanding Faculty Member Award goes to a newer member of the faculty, somebody that I've had the privilege of having for, I believe, 3 courses, Professor Nicholas Marquet.
Thanks, I'll keep it really short, which is not my usual mode, but excuse me, when Hattie told me that I'd won the award, I must have said really maybe 3 times, and she finally said, stop asking me that question. And as I drove home that night, I started thinking about why I was surprised, and my home is in Wyoming, according to Professor Pearson, and I thought a couple things, and I was really humbled because one, I work with a faculty that is genuinely dedicated to you, to teaching, to being accessible mentors. And so for me to be selected out of that faculty was a particular honor. I was humbled because you were the first class that really welcomed me to the school, because I don't usually teach first years. And you made me feel like Creighton had become my home, because teaching you was such a seamless transition of eager students who wanted to learn, who are real human beings. So I have a great job. I enjoy my classroom time. I enjoy my time with you. And so really, for me, this award is icing on the cake. So this is your day. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for the honor, and congratulations to your families. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Professor Merkay. Now we're ready to present the Juris Doctor hoods to the class of 2013. During that presentation, I'll present student awards that are listed in your program. Certificates for members of the Law Review, Moot Court, Creighton Order of the Barristers, and Scholars of Trial Advocacy were mailed out today. The many accomplishments of each of the graduates receiving an award today are printed in your program. Another of our traditions is that the professor selected by the students as the outstanding faculty member reads the names of the graduates as they receive their Juris Doctor hoods. So, Professor Merkay will read the list of students nominated by the faculty for a Juris Doctor degree and who, upon completion of the academic requirements, are accorded the privilege of the appropriate academic hood. Professor Merkay?
Thank
Ready
you.
to go.
I would ask that Professors Malili and Neumeister please join me on the stage to hood the following members of the graduating class. Okay, Douglas J. Amon. Emily Heishi Anderson. Michael Anderson, cum laude. Lindsay M. Azar. Emily Bemis. John P. Bouva, Jr. Corey J. Becker. Megan Mary Bothy. Aaron Bourne. Scott G. Boyce, cum laude. Thank you, professors. I now ask Professor Cote and Professor Strand to join us to hood the following students. Dallin Call. Audrey Beth Carey.
The Outstanding Service to the Community Award is presented to the student who has provided outstanding service to the community. Who writes this stuff? This year, the faculty has voted to present the award for outstanding service to the community to Audrey B. Carey.
Britt H. Carlson. Mark R. Carlson. Christopher R. Carlston. Sarah E. Kavanaugh, cum laude. Heather E. Kaler. Anthony J. Clow. Matthew J. Coleman. Andrew J. Cook. Matthew J. Daly, magna cum laude. Thank you, professors. I now ask Dean Dallin and Professor Gedkin to join us. Dominique Ann Deary. Daniel I. Dittman, cum laude. Peter Lewis Dobelman. Michael Martin Domke. Mitchell F. Engel, summa cum laude.
The top academic award bestowed by the faculty is the highest triennial average award, awarded to the student who has maintained the highest cumulative grade point average for the first 5 semesters of the study of law. On behalf of my colleagues on the faculty, I'm pleased to present this award to Mitchell F. Engel, and we congratulate him on this amazing achievement.
Kristen Englert. Grant Engrav, cum laude. Michael Ernest Farley.
Since 1999, the School of Law has presented an award to the law student who excels in mediation. The award, originally named after Kathleen Severance, Nebraska's first director of the Office of Dispute Resolution, was initiated by an anonymous donor. Kathleen Severance was the moving force in the development of mediation in Nebraska in the 1990s and was also an adjunct professor of law here. In 2006, another great mediator, Dr. Bernie Mayer, joined the Werner Institute. He's an internationally recognized scholar in the field of dispute resolution, so the award was renamed the Severance Mayer Award. The School of Law and the Werner Institute are pleased to award the Severance Mayer Award for Excellence in Mediation to Michael E. Farley.
Clint M. Fichter. Antonio Fornacier, Jr., magna cum laude. Thank you, Dean and Professor. I'd ask Professors Anderson and Watts to come to hood the following students. Catherine French. Jessica Rhiannon Rose Gill.
The Outstanding Service to the Law School Award is presented to the student who has given above and beyond to make Creighton Law School a better place. This year there are 2 recipients of this award, and the first recipient of the Outstanding Service to the Law School Award is Jessica Gill.
Erica Nakahara Govin, cum laude. Laura J. Grace. Brian Romney Graff. Timothy Robert Greenwood. Tom Gross. Michael Guy. Guillermo Guzman. Nicholas Lee Gray Haberman. Jesse D. Hansen, cum laude. Thank you, professors. Now ask Dean Pearson and Professor Whitten to come and hood the following students. Robert John Hike. Brad Heitzinger. Robert Henderson, cum laude. Jamie Christine Meisenholder Hermanson. Brady Hoekstra. Jeffrey David Holdsworth. Kara J. Horn. William M. Horvath. T. W. Huntington. Kelly A. Huser, magna cum laude. Thank you, professors. Now ask Dean Kelly, Professor Knepfler, to the following students. Jenny L. Jacobson. Alyssa Marie Jelinski. Rachel E. Johansson. Laurel Diane Lynn Johnson. Adam Cavan. Matthew James Kiernan. Austin Eiler Kimberling. Robert M. Kinney Walker, magna cum laude. Kristen Ann Koima. Philip Kozlowski. Thank you, professors. Now ask Professors Alexander and Morse to head the following students. Adam B. Kenny. Nicholas K. Leslie. Jeffrey S. Lucian. Joel S. Liu. Kelly Lowry. Sean P. Lynch. Amanda Arlene Lyon. John C. Madden. John V. Matson, magna cum laude.
The David Swoboda Trial Advocacy Award is presented in memory of David Swoboda, a Creighton Law graduate and one of Nebraska's finest trial lawyers. This award is presented to one student. The student selected is the one who most reflects Mr. Swoboda's trial advocacy skills and understanding of the professional responsibility of the legal profession. We're pleased to present the 2013 David E. Swoboda Trial Advocacy Award to John V. Matson.
Brandon D. McAnally. Thank you, professors. And I call Professors Mangrum and Birmingham forward to hood the following students. Connor Patrick McCarthy. Cameron P. McDonald. Brandon McKee. Seth J. Moen, cum laude. Nick J. Montague. Amanda Montgomery. Tyler John Moss. William Grant Mullen. Eric M. Newhouse, cum laude. Erica A. Nickel, cum laude. Laura A. Nigro, magna cum laude. Thank you, professors. Now call Professors Reel and Volkmer forward to the following students. Nicholas C. O'Leary, cum laude. Kelly Cheshire Olson. Thomas J. O'Neill III. Stephen Ortiz, magna cum laude. William A. Osborne II, cum laude. Y. Kamal Patterson, magna cum laude.
The ALI ABA Scholarship and Leadership Award is presented to a student in the 2013 law school class who best represents a combination of scholarship and leadership. The qualities embodied by the ALI ABA parent organizations, the American Law Institute and the American Bar Association. We're pleased to present the 2013 ALI ABA Scholarship and Leadership Award to Y. Kamal Patterson.
Travis Penn. Trevor Perkins. Alexander Picard. Brandon Pringer. Emily A. Prest. Thank you, professors. Now ask Professors Brooks and Weber to come forward and head the following students. Ryan O. Reynolds. Nathan J. Rockman. Lawrence Joseph Grover Rowland.
The Law School Award is the Judge Donald P. Lay Award, Law Review Award, in recognition of a gift to the law school by the late Donald Lay, former Chief Judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the Eighth Circuit. Judge Lay taught as an adjunct professor at Creighton Law School and was always a great friend to Creighton. The award is made by the Law Review Board to a staff member who has demonstrated excellence in law review staff duties the past year. On behalf of the late Judge Lay and the Board of Editors of the Creighton Law Review, we're proud to present the Judge Donald P. Lay Law Review Student Award to Lawrence J.G. Rowland.
Nick R. Russell, cum laude. Dan A. Satoff. Sarah D. Sanchez. Sarah D. Small Scherer. Sean D. Scherer. Amanda Lee Sellers. Stacy Ann Shadden, magna cum laude. Travis J. Sorensen. Thank you, professors. I now ask Professors Tepley and Watts to come forward and hood the following students. Michael Stageman. Kara E. Stockdale, magna cum laude. Shane Evan Strong. Nicholas F. Sullivan, cum laude. Ronald R. Sylvester, cum laude. Juliana Tabor. Rachel Elizabeth Tim, magna cum laude. Ann N. Tassel. Wesley Van Ert.
The Phi Delta Phi Professor and Dean Emeritus Rodney Skolnick Award is presented on behalf of Phi Delta Phi Legal Fraternity to the graduating student who demonstrates outstanding service to the law school, the students, and the community. In summary, it's presented to the student who is most like Dean Skolnick, whose character reflects a love for humanity that is known to all who have studied with Rod Skolnick. This year, we present this award to Wesley Van Ert.
Michael E. Wallace. Thank you, professors. I now ask Professors Andrus and Severson to come forward with the following students. He won. Zachary L. Ward. Jennifer J. Wehrman. Brett Wessels. Kylie L. Whitaker. Catherine Whitson. Zachary Michael Winter, cum laude. Hannah Woolridge. Peng Yao. Elizabeth A. Yount. Thank you, professors.
I omitted one award. Larry Rowland not only won the Donald Lay Law Review Award, but also is the second recipient that the faculty has chosen to receive the Outstanding Service to the Law School Award. Larry, we'll give it to you at the reception, but we could probably all applaud one more time.
Ladies
Thank
and
you.
gentlemen, sorry.
You go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Dean and faculty present to you the 2013 Law School graduating class.
Thank you, Professor Burkay. This concludes the hooding ceremony for 2013.